Hello and welcome back to Children's Reading Cove. It's so wonderful to have you here with me. Let's dive right into another Shakespearean play, Antony and Cleopatra. Let's meet our cast of characters who are from ancient Egypt and ancient Rome. Here are the cast members. There's Servius. He is the storyteller and the bodyguard to Antony. Cleopatra. She is the queen of Egypt. Mark Antony. He is one of the rulers of Rome. There are Octavius Caesar and Lepidus. They are the rulers of Rome along with Antony. And there are Antony's generals. The scene, ancient Egypt and Rome. Eternity was in our lips and eyes, bliss in our brows bent. None our part so poor, but was a race of heaven. Cleopatra. Antony and Cleopatra. You want to know about Antony and Cleopatra? Let me tell you the story, the real story. I was there at the start, the night Julius Caesar was killed, and Antony made a speech over his body in the marketplace. As soon as Antony stood before us, pale and proud in the torchlight, my heart went out to him. He spoke in a voice like the beating of a war drum, and by the time he had finished speaking, I knew I would follow him anywhere, to the shores of Hades and beyond, if he asked me to. When civil war broke out, I was one of the first to join Antony's legions. It was a bitter, bloody struggle, Roman against Roman, each believing that right was on his side. I was commended for my courage in action, though all I did was keep my head and obey orders, and Antony himself promoted me to the rank of centurion just before the Battle of Philippi. That's where I got this scar on my neck. But I was lucky. Braver men than I died that day, including Brutus, who killed himself to escape the shame of defeat. Antony wept at the sight of Brutus's corpse, and many of us wept with him. Then came the peace, though few believed that it would last. The empire was carved like a goose and divided between three victors. War makes for strange alliances, but none as strange as that trio. Octavius Caesar, Julius Caesar's nephew, was as ruthless and cold as Antony was warm and generous. Lepidus, the third ally, was a joke, a jellyfish with no sting. Caesar took the west, Antony the east, and Lepidus the African provinces that were left over. Almost right away there was trouble in the east. The Parthians invaded Roman territory, and Antony sailed out with his legions to deal with them. There was a battle of sorts. The Parthians were poorly armed and undisciplined. Most of them turned and ran the moment they saw the sunlight shining in our shields. After the victory, Antony called me to his tent. "Well, Servius," he said, "your centurion days are over." I thought he was going to pension me off and send me back to Rome. "Why, sir?" I protested. Antony gave me one of his boyish grins. "Because I want you to join my bodyguard," he said. "I need good fighters around me, men I can trust, and I know I can rely on you." I was at a loss for words. My heart beat so proudly that I thought it would burst my armor. "We leave for Tarsus tonight," Antony said. "I have commanded Queen Cleopatra of Egypt to meet me there, to answer charges that she supplied Brutus with troops and money. I want you at my side. I wouldn't put it past her to slip a hired assassin into the crowds. While I've breath in my body, no assassin will get past me to strike at you, sir," I said, and I meant every word. There was gossip on the road to Tarsus, all of it about Cleopatra, and little of it worth repeating. Men said she was a beauty, who had charmed Julius Caesar and made him fawn over her like a dog. Now, the story went, she planned to do the same with Antony, but I would have it none of it. Caesar was past his prime, I said. Antony is still young, and his wife is a member of one of Rome's most powerful families. It will take more than some Egyptian woman to make him forget where his loyalty lies, even if she is a queen. How the gods must have laughed when they heard that. A few days later, I was on the quayside at Tarsus with Antony waiting for Cleopatra's royal barge to arrive. It was more than 2 hours late, and Antony was annoyed. "This is an insult," he kept muttering. "That little Nile serpent means to make me look a fool." But at last we heard distant voices on the wind, women's voices singing a twisting, slithering melody that my ears could not follow. Cleopatra's barge rounded a bend in the river, and the watching crowds gasped. The hull, deck, and oars of the barge had been gilded so that the boat looked like a fire burning on the water. The sails were deep purple and scented the breeze that filled them carried the fragrance across the harbor. I breathed in the perfume of Egypt for the first time, a spicy, honeyed smell that made my head swim. And that is the end of part 1. We'll see you very soon for part 2. Bye-bye.